I'm in Victoria this week to give a keynote at Royal Roads University at Professor Xavier's School for the Gifted. I'm hoping there's a giant fight with mutants and that I survive. While I'm here, I wanted to tell you about my favorite science story this week. It's about a term that doesn't exist, but that AI keeps using in its writing. The term is vegetative electron microscopy. That doesn't mean anything. Electron microscopy is something, but there's scanning electron microscopy, there's transmission electron microscopy. There's no vegetative electron microscopy, but there are a couple of papers from the 1950s where vegetative was on one line and electron microscopy was across from it, and the AI reading the entire internet got confused and thought maybe those words were part of the same sentence or something like that. That's our best guess as to what went wrong. But as a result of this, if you ask ChatGPT to explain vegetative electron microscopy to you, it will. It'll tell you, oh, no, it has to do with scanning plants. It doesn't. It has nothing to do with that. It's not a real term. But it's this funny story where AI thinks it's a real word and keeps using it. And in fact, there are, at last count, 22 scientific papers on Google Scholar that use the term vegetative electron microscopy. Almost certainly all of those are cases where AI did the writing. And so it's this nice red flag that you can use, and some of those papers are being retracted, and there are all these other sort of politics going on around them. But it does highlight the fact that people are using AI in their writing, and if those are the ones where you can see it, that weird noise, by the way, is a peacock. Anyway, if you see the term vegetative electron microscopy in a paper, it's almost certainly written by AI, but there are lots of papers written by AI that don't use that term, that go under the radar. It really just highlights that this is a problem. But the other reason this is kind of fun right now is that this is a thing that's going to get fixed, right? Somebody's going to put guardrails on ChatGPT and Claude and all these other models to say, don't use the words vegetative electron microscopy, that's not real. And they'll get fixed going forward. But right now, it's a problem that's in there. So it's like this fossil layer in the story of AI that we'll be able to look back at and say, oh yeah, I remember when there was that one issue that came up, because it's this problem right now that hasn't been solved yet. It'll be charming when we look back at it. Oh, there's that vegetative electron microscopy issue that we cherish so much. Dan made a video about that once in front of a castle. I remember that. Anyway, that's my favorite science story this week. I've got other science stories to tell you about, but the only way to get them is to sign up for my newsletter. It's called The Bat Signal. Just go to followthebatsignal.com.